Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here I will presenting about assessing speaking skill. So, what is speaking? Payunan characterizes speaking as a productive oral or aural skill that involves systematically producing verbal utterance to the convey meaning. And by Brown, speaking is an interactive process in constructing meaning that involves the production, reception, and processing of information. Okay, next, types of speaking assessment. First is imitative. This test repeats word to check pronunciation only, not understand or conversation skills. It assesses pronunciation, rhythm, vocabulary, and grammar. For the example of the activation is word repetition, like repeat after me for the instruction, and then everybody, and why not, wonder, wonderful, can you understand, good morning everyone, do you remember, and so on. The second type of speaking assessment is intensive. Speaking assessment often include creating short spoken language sequence to showcase proficiency in grammar, vocabulary, phrases, or phonology. According to Brown, it involves producing brief discourses to demonstrate linguistic abilities at a specific language level. As we have shown in the screen, that is the example of the intensive activity or assessment. There are scoring criteria that are 3 for student with almost fluent recognized intonation, stress, and proper pronunciation, and 2 for student had minimal problem in recognizing intonation, stress, and proper pronunciation, and 1 for student had a lot of difficulty in recognizing intonation, stress, and proper pronunciation. Next is responsive. Responsive speaking involves brief dialogue requiring a student to chat authentically. For the example is Q&A. The questions at this level are referential, demanding meaningful response with possible of open-ended or follow-up answer. We have shown in the screen that is the example of the assessment. Requires one person and instructor to ask the student question, and student answer can be one sentence response or can entail a more detailed answer depending upon the question asked. For the question example is, how are you doing, and then the student can respond like, I'm fine, not acceptable, something with more substances needed. Or what is your favorite day of the week and why, and then the student can respond like, my favorite Friday because it is start of the weekend. And the last, what are the steps kids take in playing scores, and the student can respond like first, second, or finally. And the number 4 types of speaking assessment is interactive. An interactive assessment or activity we can do in the class, like communication game, role plays, acting verb, script, discussion, or quiz. This is an example of interactive types of assessment speaking. And the last types of speaking assessment is extensive. It's like a monologue. It involves storytelling, giving a long speech or an oral presentation. Interaction between the listener and the speaker is minimal, and the format is often formal. It's typically extensive. Speaking tasks involve complex and relatively long discourse. For the example is speech. Student can choose one of the topic and speak for 5 or 8 minutes, and the speech also can be, student will receive a topic, will have 2 minutes to silently prepare a speech, and student will speak 2 up to 3 minutes. The list of possible impromptu speech topics is like in the we have shown in the screen, and do not allow some student time to prepare than other student. And then this third speech is like student give presentation on their character, and they may bring food, clothes, music, art, or anything to show. They can speak in 50 to 20 minutes. So in speaking skill, there are micro and micro skill. The micro skill is referred to producing a smaller chunks of language, such as phonemes, morphemes, word, collocation, and phrasal units. And the macro scale implies the speakers focus on the larger elements like fluently, discourse, function, style, choices, cohesion, and nonverbal communication, and strategic opinion. Here we have a rating scale of speaking assessment or speaking skill assessment. And there are some aspects that are fluency, grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, and comprehension. Okay, on this slide, we know that there are fluency, grammatical, pronunciation, and vocabulary and comprehensions for the scoring. There are also score 5 up to 1. It's have different explanations for every grade or every level of proficiency of students' speaking ability. And okay, I think that is all of I have explained and present. And thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.